mu ni leneen li mën a détruire rox.
Another cause of the soul's destruction lies in disparaging a person whose soul enjoys spiritual superiority over ours. Indeed, attacking the honor of an elevated soul irreparably compromises one's own soul. This profound reality is expressed by the sages when they state that disparaging a man of God is equivalent to annihilating one's own soul. When we speak of God's chosen ones, we are specifically referring to their degree of spiritual elevation, as well as the elevation of their mystical power in the unseen world, Ghayb. Their transcendent rank is manifested, for example, by their position within the Hadratul Ilahiyya, or their station within the Diwan al-Khira. That is, their rank and spiritual responsibility within the order of the Haqiqatou Mouhamadienne, the Muhammadan Reality. Thus, disparaging a man of God whose soul is endowed with spiritual superiority over ours amounts to condemning oneself to an inner destruction of one's soul. What leads to this reality is the use of the tongue with the intent to utter malicious words against a chosen one of Allah, whether by calling him an impostor, labeling him an evil man, or even fabricating lies about him. When the tongue speaks under the impulse of negativity arising from the heart, whether motivated by discrimination, jealousy, or the rejection of a transcendent truth that surpasses the individual, and when this speech is directed against a chosen one of Allah, it becomes a cause of spiritual destruction. Now, every chosen one of Allah is accompanied by a spiritual escort that varies according to their degrees of divine proximity. This escort consists of angels whose number depends on the spiritual rank, martaba, of the chosen one within the divine order. Some are accompanied by 10 angels, others by 100, 70, or 50, depending on the elevation of their soul in the unseen world, Ghayb. What many in this lower world are unaware of is that the angels escorting the souls of Allah's chosen ones are entrusted with a dual responsibility, regardless of their number. The first category of angels remains in the unseen world, working to capture blessings and divine light in the intermediate realms where they are permitted to access. This permission depends entirely on the spiritual rank of the chosen one. For these angels are tasked with gathering these blessings and reinfusing them into the soul of the chosen one, thereby facilitating their rapid spiritual ascent. As for the second category of angels in this escort, Allah has specifically trained them to protect the chosen one from all harm emanating from disbelieving afarid jinn, ill-intentioned people, and slanderers. Their role is to envelop all these dangers and contain them. This is why we may see people attempting all kinds of mystical schemes against a chosen one of Allah, casting spells, bewitchments, and so on. Yet, they never succeed. This is because Allah has assigned him guardian-like beings, angels who intercept all these malevolent acts. During neutralization, these mystical harms are condensed into negative energy, in contrast to the blessings and divine light, Nur, which represent the positive energies they gather across the universe on behalf of the chosen one. This negative energy corresponds to the spells cast by malicious humans and jinn against the chosen one, and the chosen one's mystical guardians store it. Among the functions of this close angelic guard is courting the chosen one. If a person uses their tongue to sabotage or slander descent, they have the right to retaliate immediately. To do so, they extract the stored negative energy and mystically access the slanderer's body. They open their soul and release the negative energy, which is entirely composed of harm. When accessing the person's soul, these guardian angels never exceed 4, regardless of how many angels are assigned to the chosen one's protection. Regarding the notable consequences of this punishment, the moment the negative energy is inserted into their soul, all the light within it drains away, leaving only the negative energy, which then seizes the soul entirely, annihilating it. This is why whoever vilifies a chosen one of Allah sees their disgrace increase every day. Observe this reality well. As foretold by the previous sense, they affirmed, no matter the level of esteem and greatness one holds, whoever attacks a chosen one of the heavens will end up cursed. The reason for this degradation is that their soul will no longer function properly, even in their supplications and relationship with Allah. From the moment these 4 angels pour the negative energy into their soul, the light renounces and abandons it. The soul, now cursed, will contain nothing but darkness. If it was a person who once worshipped Allah sincerely, their worship will now be tainted by hypocrisy. Their once kind words will become malicious and venomous. They will ultimately become an insolent person with an unrestrained demeanor. The reason for these misfortunes is justified by the curse that the soul pronounces upon its own body. Due to all these luminous opportunities, it's sacrificed because of its tongue. This explains the annihilation of their heart, and their end will be even more terrible. Thus, concerning the domains of Allah's chosen ones, as well as the entire organization surrounding the soul and the processes Allah operates upon it from the unseen, Ghayb, He would not allow anyone to corrupt a soul without punishing the offender. The arrival of this punishment reveals the existence of a profound reality.